It's LTS Crypto. You wonder where everybody's excitement went. Looks a little red on crypto bubbles today. And matter of fact, I was in one of the chat rooms. I think it was maybe F Sonic's Discord group, and I remember being in there and saying, hey, buy the dip, buy the dip. That's what you do during times like this, buy the dip. And then I thought maybe I need to go look and see if I need to buy the dip, as actual research going into it to see. And the emotions are starting to play because, a couple of days ago, everybody was very ecstatic, very happy. Everybody was making money. I was checking the chart, checking my D-Bank to see my total portfolio, my MetaMask, and just like, hey, it's, and you say it's doubled in X amount of time. And all this excitement. It's like, we're going to be rich, and I was shopping for, sports cars and things like that. But today we're down. And the question is, should we buy the dip? Now, let me just sometimes we need to be grounded a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, we're in crypto. We're not really grounded people. But I want to kind of look at a broader place, because I had actually had someone ask me, I guess it was on Twitter the other day, what do I do? What do I do? It was one of those situations where I bought Fantom at this amount. I'm about to be in profit. Do I need to sell it? And the thing is, had I told them, which I never tell people to do anything with their money or their crypto, I don't do that. But had I told him, well, they sell it, he would have been better off, because today he would have been down. But I said, and I do stand by this statement, it depends on what you want to do. Depends on what you're going for. Depends on what your goal is. Now, if you are one that is an investor, not a trader, but investor, you're going to enjoy this, okay? If you are a trader, you're not going to like it so much, okay? Unless you're a shorts trader, a short-term short trader. As we look at the market, there's something that's got to happen. I mean, it needs to happen. It ought to happen. It's something that needs to occur prior to the big bull peak that we're supposed to see in about a year. Bitcoin halving is occurring next month. We've got a lot of the legal stuff and the ETFs, and you've got all-time highs on Bitcoin. All this stuff is going. Maybe a super cycle is what I heard. But what if it's not? What ought to happen? All right, well, let's just kind of look. If you go over and look at the actual Bitcoin story, as you can tell, I don't pay for my trading view. If you look on the monthly, and let me get my little draw tool right here. But if you look at these two little peaks right here, it'll draw it for me. If it will, without it messing up my other stuff. Here we go. See them two peaks right there? Those two peaks right there was last top of the bull market. That was the last one. And as you see, after that second peak, it took a dive, and we were all sad. Well, look where we are now. We're up above that. We're at all-time high. Well, so to say we're in a bear market is not true. All right. And to say, well, should I buy the dip? Well, that's not necessarily true either. Now, if you're looking at 2025, yeah, anything right now is a dip, okay? Anything you do right now is going to be in profit. That's what we're all believing, because in 2025, we're going to be at the peak, and we'll all take profits then. We'll hit the top, and then we'll get out, and we'll vacation for a little bit. But what if you want to make profit for the next month or two? That's an issue. Well, let's look at a couple of things. First of all, there's actually a trend line forming right here. If I can make that thing, well, let me get out of that. I knew how to work this thing. Scrunch that down. All right, now notice this. Notice there's a trend line right. I should delete you out of there. It is hitting up on the monthly. It went through that trend line right there and has now been bought back down or been sold back down. Been sold back down. What does that mean? Does that mean we're going to continue on? Well, if you go over here and you click on the daily, there's some good news because it looks like it might be actually going to bounce off that same trend line, but you can't use those two. Okay, you can't use those same. But it doesn't look good. Okay, it looks like there needs to be a retest. Now, the other thing that we need to realize is when you go back over to the monthly, there is something that needs to happen considering your oscillators. Right down here on the bottom, as you look down here at the Stokes RSI, if you'll look right here, this bad boy is by definition way overbought. Way overbought. And when Stokes RSI, and I'll draw a circle around RSI right here. See, RSI is overbought. Those two oscillators, you got MACD also, but I have a feeling that if I went and looked at the MACD, it'd also be overbought, which means there needs to be a correction, and this is on the monthly. So the next few days, don't know what's going to happen, but it seems that over the long haul, going into the halving, that there's got to be a correction to let those oscillators reset, and then we can take off. Otherwise, we're just kind of playing these games. It's got to reset. It ought to reset. I'll give you another one. Let's look at Ethereum. Look at Ethereum. Restore my connection. It also on it's about to approach a trend line. See that trend line right there? It's coming up. It looks like it's about to hit that trend line. It appears that it may. Nobody knows what it's. I can't tell what people are going to buy and sell, but it looks like it's going to retest over the next few months. Again, look at your oscillators. When you look at your oscillators down here at your Stokes RSI, you are way overbought. You look at your RSI and look what it's dipping into. Overbought right there. All right. So all these things need to settle down. We've had some excitement. It's been fun. But to go into the bull market, and I'll just show you my thesis. My thesis is pretty simple. My thesis is that the market's going to do exactly what it's been doing every time Bitcoin halves. Every time there's a Bitcoin halving, the market does something, and it's pretty consistent. Now, if history repeats itself or rhymes, then it is absolutely going to take off after the dip. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. Excuse my dog. There he goes. All right. If you will look, these pink lines represent the halving. There is one green line over here, and I'll select it. That line right there with the, sorry, and I'm not paying for it. I'm not paying for TradingView. All right, but if you'll notice on that green line with the three dots here, that is the upcoming halving. It's supposed to be in April. This coming up April. If you look down here, this little blue thing right here, that blue one is the bull market from 2017 that I have pulled over to this one to go in corresponding with the halving. If you look over here on the green one is the 2021 bull market. It, again, is pulled to the halving, to where the halvings match up. And if you'll notice that there is at October or September 2025, both of them are at the peak. There's a little bit of a peak over hold on a second. I can hold it. No, anyway. now we're ready. All right. If you look over here on the green line that I have selected, that right there is the first peak, not the major peak, from this last bull market. That's love. That's all he wanted was love. That's all he wanted. And popcorn. I'll say, here. You're not supposed to feed your dogs popcorn. Especially not supposed to feed them with the same hand you feed yourself with it. Anyway, so my thesis is it's going to take off and it's going to be hitting that peak September 2025, which means if you look at all those patterns, it's got to correct. It's got to correct. So, you know, buy the dip now, it's probably going to dip some more. It's probably going to dip some more. There's probably going to be many more dips. But the thing is, if you're in it for the long haul, you're going to be fine. You are going to be able to get a decent price. Even though Bitcoin is all-time high, you're still going to be able to make profit on it at the peak. In 2025, it's going to go. And everything's just kind of lining up. Now, and that goes for all the other projects as well that are going to survive. That's the thing. If you find projects, make sure they're going to survive, okay? They don't end up in jail. Let me show you one more chart. One more chart. Go over here to Fantom. And this is on the monthly as well. And the beautiful thing about Fantom, it has actually broke through this line of resistance for the monthly. It's come back to retest. If it goes below, you know, by month's end, it may not even be a breakout. What we want to see is it to break through and then retest on that as support. Don't know if it's going to happen, but it's one of the charts that actually looks like it might do it for this month. And so Fantom seems good, which also means that the Fantom ecosystem seems to be, you know, some good buys as long as the projects are going to survive. So just to recap, let me give him one more piece of popcorn. Just to recap, buy the dip. If you're in a buy the dip. Yeah, buy the dip. I mean, we're in the dip, okay? It's probably going to dip some more. If you're trying to make money this month, no, don't. And of course, don't take my advice. Don't spend money from what this YouTuber says. Don't say it. But look at the charts. Do your own research. You know, determine for yourself. But again, if you're an investor, get you some. Get you some. Now, as always, if you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. I'll answer those questions or comments. I'll respond to them. And just, if you have any ideas, if I'm wrong, please tell me. I do listen to you. If you have not that, you're a moron, that kind of thing. I don't respond well to that. But, say, no, you're wrong about this and X, Y, Z is why. I will listen to you. Just let me know. But anyway, I will see y'all next video. It's LTS Crypto. Bye.